Hi everyone and welcome to Bad Car Symptoms. The alternator is a device that provides your car with electric power and recharges the battery while the engine is running. One of the crucial parts of the alternator are the bearings. They enable the rotor and the pulley of the alternator to spin freely and with minimal friction. When the two bearings are faulty, mostly due to material fatigue or a lack of lubrication, the alternator eventually stops working and you're left without electric power on your car, meaning that it is undrivable. Hopefully, this video will show you how to spot the symptoms of bad alternator bearings on time and help you solve the problem. So stay tuned. Bad car symptoms. A thumping and grinding sound. The first symptom of a bad alternator bearing you'll notice is a characteristic sound coming from the engine bay. First, it will be a barely noticeable thumping sound, which over time gets louder and turns into a grinding sound. In the final phase of the problem, it may turn into a crunching sound. The serpentine belt screeches and squeals. Bad alternator bearings cause resistance in the rotation of the pulley and the rotor. This means that the serpentine belt has much more load on it than usual. The load causes the belt to slip or even start to fray over time, which leads to the serpentine belt first making a chirping, then a squealing, and finally a loud screeching sound. The battery warning light appears. You might also get a battery warning light appear on the dashboard. When the bearings are bad, they might get some play. This play throws the rotor off balance and causes it to scrape the stator and other inner parts of the alternator. If these inner parts are damaged, the alternator will partially or completely stop producing electricity and recharging the battery. The serpentine belt snaps. Now we come to the more dramatic symptoms, one of which is that the serpentine belt suddenly snaps. We've mentioned that bad bearings will put a lot of load on the belt, and because of this it gets damaged and may suddenly snap. This usually happens while driving. You'll easily notice the symptom when the belt snaps. The battery warning light will instantly appear. Also, at the same time, other systems may stop working, like the power steering or the AC for instance, since they are also driven by the serpentine belt. The alternator pulley and rotor get stuck. Finally, when the bearings completely collapse and the inner parts of the bearing are crushed, the rotor and pulley will get stuck and stop spinning. First, you'll hear a loud screeching sound from the serpentine belt, then the belt may snap, and at the same time, you'll see the battery warning light appear on the dashboard. This happens in most cases only if the bad bearing problem is completely disregarded and the car is driven this way for a longer period of time, and this symptom appears after the grinding noise has been present for some time. The best time to inspect and solve a bad alternator bearing problem is when you hear the distinctive thumping sound when the engine is running and you hear chirping from the serpentine belt. The last call for solving the problem is when you hear the grinding. When you hear the grinding, best don't drive the car to avoid causing further damage to the alternator or even worse, to the car's electric and electronic systems. Also, in some cases and with some engines, you may cause engine damage because of a snapped serpentine belt. So that's it for this time. We hope the video helps. Please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.